That was gross. My neck just disappeared. What's up? I'm Caleb, and I'm so excited to hang out with you for just a little bit. Don't you love it when somebody goes above and beyond for you? I remember when I was in middle school, my brothers and I just started to run track, and my older brother, he liked running distance. I'm not a distance runner, but everybody thought, okay, older brother runs distance, younger brother should run distance too. So for a couple years, all I did was run distance until sophomore year, this guy, Coach Davis, the GOAT, right? Coach Davis comes to me, he goes, hey, I don't think you really love distance that much. What do you want to do? I was in a rebellious phase. I was like, Coach Davis, I want to pole vault. And he was like, hey, go ahead. I was like, okay, so for like a year, I pole vaulted and I wasn't that great at it, but he at least let me try something new. He checked in with me to see what I wanted to do. And throughout the rest of my high school career, I knew Coach Davis was always going to check in with me to see if I was doing what I wanted to and if I loved it and how he could help me get better at it. Now, why am I telling you this story? Well, because I think we could all use more people like Coach Davis. We all need people who show up, who care, who go above and beyond, not because they're asked to, not because I asked them to, but because they know it's the right thing to do. Those people are real party starters. I know we all love a good party, but I'm not talking about an actual party. When I say party, I mean any effort to celebrate, serve, or enjoy others in a way that adds value to life. With that in mind, being a party starter simply means you're the one doing those things and inviting others to join in. And Coach Davis really started the party in my life by going that extra mile for me. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, this whole doing more than what's asked of me thing isn't all that easy. I think that's probably why we tend to really notice when someone else does it for us. It just doesn't happen all that often, and that's what makes it really stand out. I think if we're honest, most of us, myself included, would say it's easier to just do the bare minimum. I mean, sure, we could do more, say more, help more, show up more, be there more, but no one's asked us to do that. It's not technically required of us, so we just don't. Of course, I know doing the bare minimum doesn't always come from a bad place. Sometimes we do this just because we're tired. You can't give more to someone else because you need someone to help you right now. Sometimes the extra effort doesn't seem like it would really do any good anyways. You couldn't possibly have enough time or money to make that much of an impact, right? Sometimes our bare minimum is the result of fear. Maybe you want to help someone out, but you're scared to mess it up or embarrass yourself or do or say the wrong thing. And sometimes it's the result of a little bit of laziness. Maybe you're just not motivated to do much more than what you have to right now. No matter the reason, hear me when I say this. I think on some level, doing the bare minimum when it comes to helping others is something we all do. But if you stop to consider it, is this the kind of person you want to be? Do you want to be someone who lives life doing the bare minimum? Or do you think you want to be someone who does a little more and chooses to go the extra mile? Someone who lives more like a party starter when it comes to helping others. The truth is, Jesus wants us to live a full, amazing life and share it with others as if it was the best party of all time. And part of living that party starter life is choosing to go the extra mile. How do I know that? Well, because of Jesus. Everything about Jesus' life, ministry, death, and resurrection was about going the extra mile for the people he loved. Paul, one of the early leaders of the church, put it this way: God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. I mean, talk about the extra mile, right? Jesus didn't wait for us to ask. He didn't wait for us to prove we deserved it. He didn't wait for us to get it right or show our gratitude or promise to never mess up ever again. Now, while we were still in the middle of our mess, Jesus went the extra mile. He died for us simply because he loves us, and that's a big deal. But Jesus took this extra mile stuff one step further. He didn't just do it for us and tell us not to worry about it in our own lives. No, Jesus called us to follow his example and do the same for others. Before we get to his actual Before we get to his actual words, let me give you a little background on what was going on at the time Jesus gave us this challenge. During the time of the Roman Empire, when Jesus was on earth, Roman soldiers had all the power. They could get away with just about anything. During that time, there was a practice which basically said a Roman soldier could demand someone to carry their belongings, armor, or gear for a full mile. No questions asked. So if a Roman soldier didn't feel like carrying something, it was common for that soldier to pick up a random person and force them to carry it for him for a mile. Not cool, right? You'd probably expect Jesus to say something like, "Hey, bro, you don't have to listen to them." Or, "Hey, don't help those soldiers do anything." But instead, take a look at what Jesus said. If anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles. Time out, pause. What? Jesus wants us to go another mile to do more than what's required of us to help someone even when they've done nothing to deserve it? Yeah, of course, walking another mile was what it looked like in Jesus's time. In today's world, this doesn't necessarily mean literally walking the second mile with somebody. It means go above and beyond. Do more than the minimum. Don't wait to be told or asked. Just help, because that's what a party starter does. A party starter does more than what is asked of them. Now, let me be clear. I'm not suggesting that you should do so much for someone else that it causes harm to you. Of course, you have to take care of yourself too. You need good, healthy boundaries to know when you've done enough or when you just don't have much to give. Jesus isn't asking us to do something out of obligation. He's asking us to partner with him to do more for others whenever and however we can. It's an invitation to follow Jesus's example and start the party right here, right now, by going the extra mile for others when we can. Because a party starter does more than what is asked of them. So, what do we do with all this? If we want to be party starters who do more than what is asked of us, where do we actually start? Well, here are 3 places to start. First, ask yourself, what kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be someone who does the minimum, or do you want to be someone who goes the extra mile? Before you can move forward, you have to decide who you want to be. Then, do something you don't have to do. It's okay to start small. Remember, the extra mile will look different for each one of us and for each situation we're in. So, think about just one way you can choose to go that extra mile this week. What do you think would happen if you did more to help around the house this week? Wait for it. Without being asked. What might it look like if you were generous and kind with someone you know who's lonely? What if you did something unexpected to help a teacher at school? What can you do to help a friend you know needs it? And finally, third thing, remember that sometimes you need to let somebody else walk with you. Sometimes you need somebody else to go the extra mile for you, and that's part of life. So if that's where you are right now, don't be afraid to speak up. In fact, your group is the perfect place to start. There, you're surrounded by people who want to help you, other party starters who are willing to go the extra mile. So consider talking to your group today about how you can walk with each other through both the good and difficult times. Remember, a party starter does more than what is asked, and that's exactly what I hope you'll consider doing this week.